Hello, welcome. Thanks for clicking play on the video. That's really kind of you. I hope you get something out of it. My name is Luke. I'm an illustrator and motion designer, and I'm based in Sydney, and I also make zines, stickers, prints, toys, and other bits and bobs. This is a vlog that I've made from the last few weeks, which have been quite busy. There have been lots of zine fairs on, and so in it, I'm going to zine fairs, there's travel. There is a breakdown of the process of making my latest zine. I also go to a vintage toy and video game shop. I think you'll really enjoy that. I'm a big video game and toy collector, supporter, lover. So there's a bit of that. So it felt special to reflect on the last few weeks in this vlog. So I'd appreciate it if you like the video. If you like the video, subscribe, maybe leave a comment and tell me what your favorite toy was growing up. And yeah, I'll see you at the other side of the video when we can talk shop then. So please enjoy and sit back and relax, and I'll see you at the end. Bye. So this is my latest zine, Neighborhood Field Notes, and it's inspired by taking a break from your phone. The irony being is I'm using my phone to record this voiceover, but it stems from like wanting to, spend less time on my phone. If you can hear any background rustling, that is my dog Fossy. Anyway, so yeah, it's Neighborhood Field Notes is designed as like an exercise that I was doing to just, leave my phone at home, go for a walk around the block, and just explore and look at your neighborhood with fresh eyes, I guess, eyes of a tourist or someone who's just, arrived in your neighborhood. So it started out with kind of an idea that I'd had in my sketchbook, and of just sort of some prompts that I was thinking about, like noticing birds, or what birds can you hear or see, or just learning to use your senses, I suppose. So, from a rough sketch in my notebook, I then use my iPad to kind of do things in passes. So I generally try to create like a rough flow of how I'm going to cover the idea in 8 pages, because I'm doing an 8-page Foley zine. So the passes that I do help me spend not too long perfecting things at this stage, because inevitably I move things around and try to create a better flow. So a hack that I've used for myself is, to do things in passes. So, spend 20 minutes just getting out the very basic kind of nuts and bolts, letting it kind of marinate in my head for a little bit, then going back over and then doing another pass where I'm kind of maybe perfecting it a little bit more, adding text, moving things around. That way I'm not necessarily wasting my time with anything too much. Is this weird? Yes. So I'm at the third round of changes that I've been making to this zine, this Neighborhood Field Note zine. So I'm at the final, I would say, section of it where I feel like I've really perfected it. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just about to pop it in now. I've just spent the best part of like an hour or two at a local cafe where I've spent some time figuring some things out. The last page was bugging me a bit because I wanted the last page to feel reflective, and I don't think the character was looking that way in the last few sketches. So I think I've nailed it now. And I thought I'd show you how things are looking from the third round. I don't know how many rounds this is now. Third round, about to do a fourth. So I thought I would show you what that's looking like. I know this is the most unglamorous way of showing you what this looks like, but just at a quick glance, like this is round 3, where I was, you know, knew roughly where things were going now. I finished this off yesterday. And so, yeah, I've set myself this challenge of getting it all done today. So yeah, this last page here, you know, obviously the text is not in a good spot, but I was trying to kind of convey, like, once you've finished this walk, how might you be feeling? And I was like, wouldn't it be great if his legs were resting on the frame? But I think he looks asleep, which is maybe not what I want. So now I'm just going to go through, probably spend too much time looking at each page and just wondering if it all works. I think this page might have to change a bit. I wanted to feel like that scene in Wizard of Oz where Dorothy lands in Oz, and it's all kind of black and white where she is inside the house and she opens the door and it's really bright. This one I really like too. I really love these bugs. I'm really happy with how they turned out. And these birds. And I like him looking through all the plants. There's this tiny little bit here that there's a part of me that wants to get rid of, but then I also like that it's there. So I have finished the pagination of this zine, and I've quality controlled it, or at least checked it a bit. So what I do now is I'll create an A3 size document in Photoshop that's 300 dpi, and then I will go about putting each page into the A3 size page, because here's something I've prepared earlier. This is what a foldy zine looks like, in case you haven't seen, but it's one sheet of A3. And so what I'm about to do now is I'm going to import each page into Photoshop and see how some pages are upside down. So once it's kind of done, it'll fold like so. Okay, well, I'll get this sent, like packaged up and exported, and hey, we'll find out if it's gonna arrive in time. Finished cutting up and folding all the neighborhood field note zines, and they're currently in my makeshift zine press. The reason why I do this is because I like them to all be like really flat, and I find that if I've just kind of folded them and left them, they're a bit like poofy, for want of a better word. I'm heading to Canberra tomorrow to the zine fair and indie comic fair. I had to pick up this suitcase. I didn't actually have a small suitcase, so when I was traveling to zine fairs, it was in my backpack. You know, it just broke my back by the time I got there. Because I'm not taking the zine stand, I've actually got these other ones I've made. So these just sit on the table. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, so I just got back from the zine fair, had a great time, had some really good chats with people, which is what I really enjoy the most about zine fairs. It's that the only kind of like time I think that I can kind of nerd out about paper stock and printing and toys and dogs and mental health stuff, and it's like seeing other people who are also into that stuff as well. That feels so cool, because like I say to people when I'm there at zine fairs is that you can kind of like, if you're making stuff that you enjoy and that you want to read or you want to learn more about, and it gets turned into a zine or a sticker or a print, and then other people come over to your stall and are looking at it or picking it up or laughing at it or whatever, like you make a really great connection with someone that if you're making stuff for other people, you won't necessarily get the same connection with, because you're making something for a different person. And so when that different person isn't resonating with it, it can hurt a bit. So I, since kind of really making stuff for myself, or stuff that I'm interested in, or stuff that I might want to see or look at if I was at a zine fair, then I feel the experience has changed for me so much more, that I'm connecting with people, and you know, I feel really kind of seen. I feel zine, and I think the zine community are like the best and most welcoming community, and I would urge anyone who's thinking about making zines to give it a crack, because I think you're getting to meet some amazing people. And even if I wouldn't necessarily say I'm an extroverted person, so when I am chatting to people, it's can feel complicated, that I'm really interested in chatting, but I'm also feeling drained, because I think it's a bit of vulnerability to sit with you, with things that you have made, and you inevitably feel a bit judged sometimes when someone comes over and they look and then walk on. But I would urge me / you to not necessarily think of it as rejection, because not everything is for you either. That also probably feels a very basic thing to say. Anyway, it was a great day. It's now 8:30, and yeah, I'm just going to put on the TV and not think about anything, but just wanted to say thanks. So how did you enjoy the video? I hope you liked it. It was really nice to edit, actually. Like, in the process, trying to be not so perfectionist about color grading or sound or all that stuff. I could easily spend like a week editing and doing all that stuff, but I have found that when things take so long like that, it feels can feel a bit arduous, because I'm also fitting in my part-time job around all that stuff, and I want to like use the videos as a way of kind of keeping a diary. So anyway, hopefully you found it interesting, and the next few weeks will be busy, because there's some more zine and makers markets coming up. So I'll try and record some more things for that. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you clicking play, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.